Let's head over to Venezuela. A key figure in the opposition movement live streamed her arrest as she was removed from her home in northwestern Venezuela in August. There was an election back in July that saw Maduro claiming victory by more than 1 million votes, but there was evidence to believe that somebody might have been cooking the books on that. But to talk about the arrest of this figure in the opposition movement, the person in question is Maria Oropeza. And joining us on 710 KURV to talk about this, she is the Director of Development at the Ladies of Liberty Alliance. Izabela Patriota joins us now. So tell us what's happening in Venezuela.
Hi, thank you for having me here in the show. It's a pleasure to me. It's an honor to talk about Maria. Right now in Venezuela, what is going on is that Maduro is for over a decade taking control of all of the media there. He started way worse than Chavez. Chavez started all that by regulating and controlling all of the papers and all of the outlets there, and nowadays even social media. He blocked Twitter, and all of the oppositors working for Maria Corina Machado and Edmundo Gonzalez are getting detained with no warrant and with no guarantees. So Maria Oropeza worked for Maria Corina Machado. We're talking about two different Marias here for over 10 years. And she was just arrested because she was combined with the oppositors claiming that the elections were stolen. So the officers from the regime broke into her house in the middle of the night, arrested her with no warrant, and she's now, we don't know where she is. Her mother doesn't know her whereabouts, and we believe that she is in the biggest center of torture in Caracas in Venezuela.
This is, this is not meant to belittle the event in any way, but I've been making the parallel that this is like a scene. I don't know if you've seen the movie V for Vendetta, where it's a talk show host. He's got a talk show and he makes fun of the chancellor in a skit. And he says, oh, I'll probably just do some fundraiser event or whatever to make up for it. And then they come to his house at night and they tie him and they beat him and they bag him and they take him away. But Maria Oropeza was live streaming this entire event as she was getting arrested as these guys were breaking into her house, correct?
Yes, that's right, because she realized that the officers from the regime were breaking into her house, and she was asking, so she started to record it, and then she went live on it on her Instagram page because she knew that it would be the only proof that they did it to her. So she was asking them, why are you breaking into my house? I'm not a delinquent. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm just asking questions about the elections. And then they were like, open it. And then until they broke into her house for around, she doesn't live in Caracas, the capital city of Venezuela. She's from the countryside. So the only proof of life that we have from her was a video that the officers published 30 hours after her detention, and it's a video mocking her, making fun of her, and like removing her from on a helicopter, which we believe was the helicopter that took her from the countryside to Caracas for this torture center called the Helicoid. And it is so bizarre that they even use a soundtrack that is from horror movies. So very similar to V for Vendetta. I've seen that movie years ago, so I don't really recall all of the details, but yeah.
Yeah, it must be eerie to have to see that kind of a parallel, I admit. Joining us on 710 KURV, Izabela Patriota with Ladies of Liberty Alliance. Davis Rankin, your question. Go ahead.
Which country, in your opinion, is the best opponent of the Maduro regime? Is it the U.S., Spain? I mean, who?
I do believe currently two countries right now, two presidents are really going confrontational with Maduro, and they are Argentina and Uruguay. I know that Uruguay is not that famous internationally, but in the region in South America, they are very vocal against Maduro. So because Venezuela right now has more immigrants, there are more people fleeing Venezuela than Ukraine. So they are questioning it. These people cannot be leaving Venezuela because they're doing tourism around the world. So President Lacalle Pou in Uruguay and President Milei in Argentina are doing an excellent job confronting Maduro. The U.S. is not as vocal, and of course it's not in the region. So that's why Argentina even the ambassadors of Argentina left Venezuela recently, and they were keeping all of the oppositors in their facilities. But then because Brazil was taking care of the facilities of the Argentinian embassy, but now the Maduro regime broke into the facilities of what used to be the Argentinian embassy because it was not taken care by Argentina anymore. It was being taken care by Brazil. So it is creating a total instability in the region, and I do believe these are the two best countries right now, Argentina and Uruguay.
So take us back to the election in July for Maduro. Why is it that, or what evidence is there that the fix was in for Maduro?
Okay, the system in Venezuela is not like here. It's not in paper, so they use a machine that prints in each machine the results. They don't say, of course, the names of people, but then for transparency, each section of votes, they have people from the opposition and also from the regime checking it out, at least to pretend that they are still in a democracy. So in 70% of these, it is what the observers claim, right? In 70% of these sections, the opposition won. But what happened was that the regime started to burn these papers and they collected them all of these machines that run the elections in Venezuela. And then since then, we didn't receive any results from official, like with the both sides. And that's why the opposition is claiming that they won. And of course, because they have taken pictures, and then after the regime started to break in and to collect all of these machines there. So that's why they claim. I don't know if this part is clear enough, but the way that they organize the elections there is not like here. So these machines, when they receive the results, they say what was the percentage in each of them, and the opposition claim, and then they have shown that in 70% of them, they have won.
Joining us on 710 KURV is Izabela Patriota with the Ladies of Liberty Alliance. Davis Rankin, one quick question.
Initial news reports were that Maduro had been soundly defeated. So, assuming that's true, what can be done besides invading the country and catching him?
I believe the international pressure is the key right now. And trade barriers are the key right now. I mean, if we isolate Venezuela, we can hope, because economically speaking, the country has melted. They are completely helpless right now. So I don't know for how long they're going to be able to survive in this circumstance. Of course, we're talking about a country that has the biggest oil reserves in the world. So it's been helping the regime. But being very, frankly, I believe international pressure, putting our international eyes on what is going on there, and creating barriers, trade barriers with Venezuela.
I see here you've completed your PhD in law and political economy at the University of Sao Paulo. Sorry for not adding the doctor to your name for the duration of the interview. I apologize for that. But tell us about the Ladies of Liberty Alliance. What is it that you all do, and what is your role in all this?
LOLA is an organization based here in the U.S., in D.C. It's It's the headquarters, and our mission is to empower and educate women in free markets and in individual liberty. So we have activists all around the world. So Maria Oropeza was one of them. I was recently with her in one of our leadership retreats in Uruguay, by the way, in Montevideo. So we were recently together, and I was asking her if she would ever seek asylum here in the U.S., and then she said no, because if everybody leaves Venezuela, nobody's really going to save it. So she is a complete hero to us, and she represents Lola very well, which is somebody that in a completely disadvantaged competition against the government, was there, vocal about all of the oppression that the Maduro regime was doing. So this is our mission. We want to look for more women like her and to help them to advocate for freedom, free markets, and individual liberty.
I know you all
don't worry
are
about
trying
the
to.
doctor status. It's very recent, though.
Is she doing? How do I say this gently? Is her status known at this point? Has anybody been in communication with her? And I understand that Joe had been trying to fundraise for her release.
Yes, we do not have proof of life other than the video that I mentioned, and her mother was not able to talk to her yet. She was informed that she is in this torture center in Caracas, but she was not able to contact her. So her mother received the information that she is there. She is in this center, and by the way, she cannot even have a private attorney because according to the officers there, she is a terrorist. So terrorists in Venezuela do not have rights for private attorneys. So she can only have public representation. So somebody that works for the regime would be taking care of her case. So this is the situation. This is her situation right now. We believe that she's there. Her mother has received information that she's there, but nothing official, and she hasn't seen her.
That's a very heavy story. Maria Oropeza is the lady that we're talking about right now, and thank you for bringing this story to our attention. We appreciate your time here today. Unfortunately, we're out of time right now. Izabela Patriota, Dr. Izabela Patriota at the Ladies of Liberty Alliance, joining us on News Talk 710 KURV.